When they see it come, when they see it all.
Yeah, you see what you call it. All right. Let's go ahead and get it started, man. I know we a little bit late. I got the grades setting in, man. That wisdom, man. It's been a rough month so far. You know, so I've been super duper
We
swamped,
just
man.
started.
Huh?
Yeah, we just started.
It's been rough,
Since
man.
May the
You know,
5th.
I had record highs and record lows, man. I had a record closing, clear to close in 7 days. Had another one that you know, we a couple of days we were supposed to close Friday. The underwriter hit us with 9 more conditions. You know, so out of the blue, so 9 more conditions.
Right.
Yeah, so been working on that all day, man. So so let's go ahead and get it started. I'm going to kick off the introductions real fast, and let's go ahead and get straight into it. Again, my name is Brandon B. Dixon, MLS 1541210. It's at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. Especially go to our YouTube. At Billionaire Loan Officer is the YouTube. Don't forget, man, like I said, know a lot of people's watch us on the replay. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button, get the notifications. So I know a lot of people watch us on the replay. They probably, you know, watch us later on, probably after they watch Corey Holcomb or Club Shay Shay. But you can go ahead and watch us live, too. You can come on right before Corey Holcomb. So, you know, you can make us your Tuesday night tango, you know, watch the power, you know, whilst we're talking real estate, then watch Corey Holcomb, man, 5150 show. Go to our website, www.applywoodb.com. You're ready to go ahead and get a mortgage or go ahead book me for a consultation. You call me 832-775-8357. You call me 24/7. Also, if you want to book me as a luxury agent, you're ready to buy, you're ready to sell, you're ready to lease, www.brandonbdixon.com. Also, last but not least, clcinvestmentclub.com. If you're ready to go ahead and start your investment journey as a real estate investor, if you want to mitigate your risk, you know, so go ahead and let us get started with the club. And I got a couple big projects this year, so trying to get some investors right now. So let's go. CJ, I got you queued up. Let's see where we at. Here we go.
All right, what's up, everybody? CJ, the realtor broker owner of Greenwood Realty Group down here in Houston, Texas. Connect with me on social media at CJ Sales Texas. That is CJSELLSTX. So let's connect on there. Check out the website, greenwoodrealtytx.com. If you're a buyer interested in finding out what's available on the market, or a seller you want to know, or interested in want to know what your home is worth, or if you're an agent looking to get more information on another brokerage, we got all that information online for you. Okay, YouTube. Check out CJ the Realtor on YouTube. We're doing, of course, our luxury edition of the home tours on there. So we're showing you some of the homes that are available or up and coming in the luxury space in Houston and surrounding areas. And we're also highlighting some of our local business owners. So especially if you're thinking about relocating to Houston and not familiar with certain areas, you want to know what businesses are in the area, check out the YouTube channel. Give me a subscribe, a like, a share. All that good stuff. We need it all, of course. And then, you know, we give back our mentorship program, B Mensa Academy, where we're teaching our young men knowledge of self-improvement, and entrepreneurship. So if you want more information or if you want to donate, go to themensaacademy.org.
All right, Barry B, I got you keyed up.
All right, this is Barry B, your favorite realtor. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in the Houston and surrounding areas, You can go to homesbybarryb.com, or you can Google me, Homes by Barry B. And I'm on all social media. Well, most social media platforms. Have a YouTube channel. Email me at barryb@homesbarryb.com. You can call me at 832-786-1270. You can text me. Let's talk about how to make your.
Gotcha. All right, so let's go ahead and get it started on this week's episode of We're Talking Real Estate. I got a bunch of random clips, and I got a bunch of clips today, but it's kind of random. I got a kind of hodgepodge of different things that I want to react to. There's no really underlying theme, but we're just gonna go ahead, start chunking through them and see what we can come up with. But let's go ahead and start with the first clip. Let's get the reactions going, and then we'll roll from there. So let's go ahead and get it started.
What we got?
Yeah, these are a couple of ones I added today as well. I got some from that already been for the week, but some I already added.
Multimillionaire in real estate. Develop pure Asian strip mall centers. They never have any vacancies because the businesses that occupy the spaces are high demand and high quality businesses. As you can see in the video, the parking lot is massive and is fully packed. Areas like the South Bay area, SoCal Irvine, and Vegas nailed this niche. Phoenix, Arizona should be next if you were to follow the development trends in specific areas. Go develop some Asian strip centers. Here's how you're going to get rich and become a multimillionaire in real estate. Develop pure Asian strip mall centers. They never.
I want to make sure y'all get the beginning of that as well. So the different strategy, I never thought about it. I thought about maybe getting a Chinese restaurant spot, you know what I mean? But because I see them things always flooded, especially in the hood, so I thought about getting a black and Asian spot, I could do some fried rice, but then I'll get somebody to do some fried rice back there, but never thought about just leasing it, making a whole strip mall. That's smart. It's kind of using it against them. I mean, going with the flow. I'll let y'all react to that while I load up this next clip, and I'll say my 2 cents to them. I think that's smart, me. But go ahead, run it.
I'm just thinking that. I'm thinking that if an Asian mart or Asian strip center or whatever, those people are going to want Asian people running it.
Well, I got my man.
It's going to be kind of hard to have some brothers running it and say this is an Asian mart or Asian center, and the people that run it are black.
No, we got people that's in the brokerage as affiliates that can serve as surrogates.
Okay.
What I mean?
I understand.
I think you don't necessarily have to do an Asian one, but just make sure it's in the right location and picking the right type of businesses to go in there.
Yeah, that's gonna.
You can put that baby anywhere as long as you got some good walkable traffic, good traffic via vehicles, and you put the right type of companies or stores in there. It'll be successful anywhere as long as that location is right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that location is going to be that'll probably be the number one thing, making sure you get where that traffic is going to be.
Yep. You find a highly congested area where you get a lot of driving and walking traffic.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the same.
We got some money, and you should be all right.
I mean, I think it will. Anything if you got that formula, it will do well. But I'm thinking that this is a little extra sauce, like a cheat code. That's why
Yeah.
So it's like if you put those, this the flair or the lure that is Asian. I think you're gonna have more long-term tenants want to get in there, and businesses are gonna kind of be sought after, because it has a direction.
Yeah, I think any demographic where you have the majority of the people supporting their own, and you got a a big recirculation of their dollar in their community, there's a couple of different, backgrounds that do that. So it don't necessarily have to be Asian, but somebody like the ones that do, I think go after them.
Right, right.
Yeah,
I
of
think
course,
like
yeah, they have to support their if it's in their community, if they have to have that support, because you can have a quote unquote Asian place somewhere where nobody's supporting it. You can put it in the middle of somewhere else and nobody's supporting it, and they won't be as successful.
right.
Yeah, you got that baby in the middle of Chinatown, and you put all Chinese stores in there. You should do it.
Right, right. Let's go ahead and go get to the next one real fast. Because again, I got quite a few of them. Again, it's like a hodgepodge. This one is a good one for Patrick. So he hasn't popped up yet. So, but this is a real. I think I had this one in mind for Patrick.
So it looks like you made $1 billion this year. We're going to tax half of that. Actually, you can't because I didn't earn any income. My company just went up in value, and that caused my shares in Amazon to increase, which is why it shows that I made $1 billion. Okay, good try, but eventually you're going to have to sell your shares to get spendable money. Then we will hit you with capital gains tax, which will tax you based on how much your assets went up in value, in this case, your shares of Amazon. Well, what if I just never sell my shares? I mean, you could do that, but then you aren't going to have any money and you wouldn't be able to actually buy anything. Nope. When I want money, all I have to do is take out a loan from the bank and use my assets as collateral. In this case, I'll put up my Amazon shares as collateral that the bank can take from me if I don't pay them back with interest. Now I get my money and we can't tax you because debt is tax-free. Exactly. Well, won't you have to pay back the loan? How will you have enough money to do that? Well, first of all, I get super low interest rates because, well, I'm so rich. Plus, Amazon will almost certainly grow enough to pay back the loan and more, and overall, it's still way cheaper than paying tax. Geez, that's smart. Where'd you learn that? Oh, well, it was easy. I just followed. Okay, you don't have to follow me, but it would be nice. Jeff Bezos. It looks like.
Well, so yeah, this would have been perfect for Patrick, but again, I'll go ahead and open it up to y'all. Let y'all
But
go
one
ahead.
thing he said there at the end, that I guess I would, I guess that's a Patrick question, is when he says that when he asked him, how are you going to pay it back? And he said, well, the value of the shares goes up or something like that, he said.
Right.
But if you're not selling it or anything, that value doesn't mean anything.
Well, I don't think he's referring to the shares itself on that part because he makes something. So as a business grows and grows with valuation, I'm pretty sure that he'll stand to make a little more money on his salary.
Right.
I'm pretty sure like he's just not taking a zero salary and just banking on the shares.
Right. Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably
but I was thinking how if you're not making anything, you're saying, hey, I'm not making money. I'm worth $1 billion, I don't have $1 billion. But how you gonna pay a loan back if you don't have it?
Yeah, I mean, if you pay yourself the bare minimum to stay up below the radar, and if the company grows and your salary grows a little bit, I think you still stay below that radar.
Right. So I could take me $100,000 out and still, not get taxed too much on that, and as opposed to paying tax on $1 billion. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather pay taxes on that. And then use that as my W-2s, and then pay that back with my loans or whatever, So, and then like I said, it's all gonna kind of wash out, So again, Patrick could get in more details with it because, like I said, he's the fiduciary on it.
Right.
However,
because we in no way are not trying to give any financial advice.
Right.
Right.
Don't look over here. We'll sell you some houses and some properties.
That
is out of my tax bracket. That's out of my pay scale.
But it's a good clip. I really wanted to put that in there. Now that I got the next clip set up, I can really chime in. I really wanted to put that in there to show people that that when people have these successful companies, they don't play by the mind frame is different. It's more of a strategy than what we do. We we work and then we wait at the end of the year to go to H&R Block and see how much we can get back. Like Patrick alluded to a couple of weeks ago that, hey, we just giving the government a no interest loan. So we got to start strategizing on tax as part of your income, as part of your job, is to have tax strategies where you can pay less taxes. There's all kind of rules and stuff for you to get out of paying taxes. The government incentivizes you to start businesses and to start to grow the economy, stuff like that. So you got to start taking that into consideration. So, I'm just showing how to success.
There's a reward for taking the risk and starting a business.
Right.
And you get rewarded with tax breaks, but at the same time, you're creating jobs and helping the economy that way. So
right.
I know a lot of people don't like when the wealthy don't get taxed, but at the same time, where's the happy medium, because they're the ones providing jobs for people.
Right. So yeah, that's what the show. Like most of you think that these wealthy people that's paying taxes like you are. No, they actually, there's all kind of ways to get around it. And in order to get to the top, you need to start strategizing and using the tools that's available in order to get there. And one of the biggest,
that's why the IRS be on you when you $5 short on your. They coming for their money because the ones that do have it not paying it, so they coming for you.
It's a lot harder to do with the W-2.
I know.
Right. Well, W-2, if you just got it where I think Hyman and I had a disagreement about this a few weeks ago. Like, I think this is the way our grandfathers and grandmothers did it. I think those days are dead. There's too much information out there now. Like, we didn't have the information about taxes where we could learn and stuff like that. Now the information's out there, so you gotta strategize better. Or you can just pay the government and give me these tax-free loans and let them get rich off of your money, or you can strategize and take that 30-40% every year and make it useful. Put it in your hands. Put it into your last name. Let's go to this next clip. This is a good one for Hyman, but again, let's see if we could. I had Hyman in mind with this one. Well, we all could chime in on this one, but this one is a good one.
Imagine investing in real estate and being able to leave your 9 to 5. Listen, y'all, I bought this property here for $35,000. Once it's rehab, it's on a cash flow of $72,000 a year. That's more than any job is going to pay you without having to spend 40 hours a week there. Now, listen, I cannot teach you everything you need to know in this short video. So I want to invite you to join me for 5 whole days where I break down how to find properties, how to get the funding for these properties, and how to find property management companies, and how to even rehab it. So make sure you join me for 5 days in my upcoming challenge. So click the link below to sign up. Imagine investing in real estate and being able to leave your 9 to 5.
All right, so is she capping or rapping?
I mean, 8 units for $35K depends on where she is.
Yeah, it depends on where she is.
That might be a tear down.
Yeah, unless it's just totally shot inside.
Yeah. So she got that in Vicksburg, Mississippi somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if she came.
I mean, the overall concept is right, but 8 units for 35,000.
Right. Yeah. So she probably just got the land. That's just the land. You need to tear that thing down and go ahead.
Or maybe she's just standing there, and that's not actually the building behind her.
35K for commercial land is low, depending on where it is. So that's what I'm saying. Like, depends on where she is.
She didn't say how much you got to put into it. She didn't say you got to put.
Yeah, she didn't say all that.
Right.
So she just said you got it for $35,000, and then she said after she finished, she gonna yield $72,000 a year. But she didn't say that.
She may have to. And then, like, if
it's 8 units divided by what's that, 72,000? That's what, 900?
Wait, both of y'all were talking at the same time.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was saying 8 units at she's talking about 72,000. Was that like $900 a unit or something? Comes up about 900.
9,000.
9,000.
Right. So 9,000 a year.
Divided by 12 is what? If you rent it out.
No, divided by 12, so that's $700 a month.
That's $700 a month.
Yeah, that's some.
So that sounds like the hood to me.
Yeah, sounds gotta be the hood. Gotta be something.
Yeah.
You know, but
You already know, Barry, ain't nothing going for 700 in Houston.
$700 a month, man.
Right.
You ain't even getting in Guns Point for $700 a month.
You renting out a room.
I looked for some military woman that came in town. There are apartments out there for $900.
Really?
Not 7.
There's 1 bedrooms. Yep. They got 1 bedroom.
Now some people have been renting their rooms out in their homes for that much.
Yeah.
Too.
I did a look. I got a list right now. They got at A-Leaf. They got 1 bedroom apartments for $900.
No, we talking about 7.
Huh?
You said 7.
Yeah. I know 7, but it's not that far off.
$200 is a lot to somebody that's looking for $700 a month.
Yeah, 900. Yeah, you can. I mean, it's gonna be like you say, A-Leaf. So yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah, with stainless steel appliances, they got some, 1 bedrooms, out there.
Yeah.
And A-Leaf, I did a look the other day.
Yeah, for 9, but not for 7.
Right.
7 gonna be.
I mean, the overall concept, is
7 gonna be them old white appliances. You might not have a microwave, and it might come with.
You're getting the bare minimum now. you getting the door. You getting a door. You getting a doorknob. The lock might not even work.
My first apartment in Houston in 2005 was $435 a month. That was almost 20 years ago.
20 years ago, though, bro.
Yeah.
I
remember paying $550 a month for a nice 1 bedroom with a den area. I loved it.
Right. This was in Braidwood. My first apartment in Houston was in Braidwood, man. It was $435.
You didn't get flooded over there?
Yeah, we got flooded over there. That's why I moved out. Yeah, so but it was a nice area.
My land is nice. You just gonna be swimming up out there when it rain hard.
Yeah, my land, it was right there. I used to work out all the time right there at that 24-hour fitness right there for what is it, 610? So I used to work out at right there. Yeah. Then I used to go to that Walmart right there on 610 and 610 and Belfort right there in that little cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's my first little Houston experience.
Everything over there.
Right. So let's go to the next one real quick.
And shout out to everybody that voted. Today was the last day. I hope you got your vote in today.
Super Tuesday.
Yep.
Right now, we're seeing luxury apartment buildings with massive vacancies. The landlords, they can't fill the units. In this property where I am right now, there's over 170 vacancies. This is something I'm calling the luxury rental crash. In more and more cities, we're seeing these vacancies. We're seeing the landlords have to cut the rent. Actually, in this property, the landlord's even giving 2 months free rent on a 12-month lease, which is a 17% discount. Despite that discount, they're still struggling to lease it up. So here's what you should expect. If you're a renter out there or if you're a real estate investor, expect rents to go down by more in 2024 because people are still priced out of the rental market at the same time that all of these properties are now delivering onto the market, which means that rents in your city could go down in 2024. And if you want to track that data, I suggest you go to www.reventure.app where you can access rental rate and cap rate information on every zip code in America. This is a huge thing happening across America right now. We're seeing.
I don't know what part of America he's talking about. Like across America, I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know if maybe he in Des Moines, Iowa, or something. I don't know.
I need a hat called Cap.
Well, you talking about luxury. You talking about the luxury space.
Don't matter here.
So you saying the luxury space ain't got no vacancies?
No,
Man, look,
I have not seen a luxury apartment give 2 months rent.
nope. And I just left. Well, maybe in a couple weeks ago, I went to this luxury apartment complex where they have penthouses, and somebody was just moving out, but they already had somebody moving in, and they charged like 15 grand a month for this joint. But it was nice, like 3-bedroom penthouse, snatched up just like that.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt their
They're
vacancies.
like 98% occupancy rate right now, and it's like luxury.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt their vacancies, but he was one apartment complex said 170 vacancies.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put a luxury joint like out in a random spot. It's just like everything. It's all about location.
Yeah, it is.
You can put like I wouldn't say luxury, but just below that, pretty much anywhere.
Maybe some of those are trying to. They're not luxury apartments, but they're trying to charge luxury apartment rates. And it's not working out.
Yeah, but that's what we're talking about in the middle. Those ones in the middle. Well, anytime you're in the middle, you suffer. If you try to be not quite Nordstrom, not quite Walmart, you're in the middle. You're gonna suffer. You gotta pick one side.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you can't fake the funk and be luxury rates.
You know, and
So
they should be just like we do CMAs. They should be doing that with the rentals in that area to know what if everything else out there is 1,500, you can't be charging 5,000. I mean,
and those that look like $5,000 from the outside.
Yeah, I mean, he was saying luxury, and they look like just
those regular.
They look like normal apartments to me. Nothing.
Right.
Now I didn't see he didn't show the inside, but
he might have been in Detroit or Cleveland somewhere. You know what I mean? So you never know.
Yeah, you crazy. If you
what's luxury to one might not be luxury to another.
If you put a luxury apartment somewhere everybody's leaving, then that's on you.
Right. Well, I got one more about this dude. I hadn't even seen this one yet. I just caught my eye where it said he said $18 for a Big Mac. So this is a reaction to me because I never seen this one. So
you real random tonight.
I'm real random.
I'm here for it. Let's do it.
Problems here at McDonald's. They've increased the prices on the menu so much. We're seeing $18 Big Macs in certain parts of the country that people can no longer afford to come to McDonald's, with their CEO saying in their most recent earnings call that those making under $45,000 a year are not coming to the restaurant as much. And the reason they're not coming is because the menu prices have just gone insane. The cost of a Big Mac has gone up by 253% over the last 25 years. And now we're seeing that these menu price hikes are starting to have a negative impact on the company. McDonald's, in their most recent earnings report, reported lower than expected revenue for the first time in almost 5 years. And thus now the CEO of McDonald's is saying we got to focus more on affordability, but it might be too little too late. Because if it costs $10 to get a Big Mac meal, I'm just going to go to Chipotle instead. Folks, we are now having big problems here at McDonald's.
Valid point.
So why is the CEO talking about they need to lower the prices? Isn't he the one that agreed to raise them?
Well, he probably raised too much. Probably raised too much. When
you got to keep voters pleased. You got to keep doing things to raise that sticker price.
Right. So
and
he probably priced himself out.
We got to double back and and it's just like I was talking about before. I think it was Patrice O'Neal was talking about when sneakers used to be like $40, and then they jumped it up to $80. And everybody was like, "Oh no, that's y'all crazy. There's no way we could buy that." And then they drop it to $60. And you're like, "Ooh, okay, that's better." It's still $20 more than the $40. So they're gonna go up on you and drop it just a little bit, so you feel okay with spending a little more. But it's gonna still be more, regardless.
Yeah, I mean, $18. I mean, ugh. Why would somebody want to do that? Well, like you say, when you can go to what he said, Chipotle or something like that, and
you
get something nicer.
Chipotle ain't got fries.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hey, them fries ain't a joke.
I don't know if y'all noticed,
them special fries.
I don't know if y'all noticed, but I'm kind of a fast food type of dude. So I don't know if you noticed that fast food used to be back in the days and it's all getting blurred right now. It used to be, it had a drive-through, you know. So Burger King, Wendy's, McDonald's, that was fast food. Chipotle and all that was considered sit-down restaurants. Even though it was takeout, it was considered a restaurant. You know, this is my logic from back in the day. It still was, it was a restaurant. You know, so now it's all kind of clumped together all over. Fast food and takeout restaurants like Chipotle. What else they have? That's in that mid range. You know, with no drive-through. Freebirds, Mods. You know, stuff like that.
Jason Deli or something.
Yeah,
Five Guys.
Yeah. So those are supposed to be a little bit more upscale, but now they all the same price. You know, there is no like lower fast food tier. Like McDonald's want to be. That's the problem. McDonald's want to be the kind of the same prices as a Five Guys.
Right.
You know, I looked at it some kind of way. I was scrolling last night. I looked at a McChicken is used to be 99 cents. I don't think $7.
Shoot, the hamburger used to be 49 cents back in the day.
Yeah, like a McChicken, a spicy McChicken, you used to get them for 99 cents. It's not real chicken. That's the thing. It is like it's that goop, the goop scoop.
Yeah, ain't nothing real in there.
It's the goop that they make at a chicken patty. It's not real chicken.
That's
so you
get why you talking that McRib. There wasn't no bones in that rib. They had the bone shapes. They had the bone shapes in the meat, but there wasn't no bones in there.
So like, you paying high dollar. You paying high dollar for poison, man. Like, man, it's getting the same. It's all clumped together.
Yep.
You know, the sit down stuff used to be Wingstop. You know, when you sit down at the restaurant, you get takeout, but you know, there used to be drive-through stuff. Used to be drive-through stuff. Popeyes and all of that was drive-through. You know what I'm saying?
You get a better burger, doggone Applebee's or Chili's or something.
Right. Yeah, if you want to pay that much.
Well, actually, they in the same ballpark. They used to have those $6-8 burgers.
It's a sit-down spot compared to going through a drive-through. So
Red Robin, the gourmet hamburger.
Red Robin. But my point is that you got McDonald's and stuff that's the same price as a Red Robin burger.
They're trying to go up to another level, but they need to stay at that affordability.
Big Mac been the same for 70 years. Ain't nothing changed.
That's what I'm saying. So why you charge $18 for it now?
Yeah, the patty is smaller than the size of breakfast sausage now.
And then they try to fool you by giving you an extra slice of bread in there.
Right. So, they're getting worse. So, it's giving you're paying more for less, and it's crazy. Let's go ahead. This one right up my alley right here. This one right up my alley. This is Rando too, but
where did this dude live? Oh, okay. Yes.
I do it. Many people in Dubai buy off-plan instead of secondary market. Off-plan means when you buy it directly from the developer. And what is really growing in popularity in Dubai is what you buy in during construction. That means your property isn't ready yet, but you're already invested in it. And let's say it will be ready by 2026. Some people might ask, why would I even invest money in something that doesn't even exist? Here is the deal. When you buy from secondary market, you have to pay full cash or take a mortgage from the bank and pay interest every year. But when you buy directly from the developer, you pay in installments called payment plan, and that is free of interest. So it's a great deal for you. But let's say you're not patient enough to wait until the handover and you want to resell it now. Can you resell something that is not built yet? Yes, you can. And that is the best part. In Dubai, you can officially resell once you pay 30% to developer. So here's what many people do. Instead of buying one apartment for, let's say, 1.5 million dirham, they buy 5 apartments and pay 30% and then resell it. That's called flipping. So it's fully legal and it's a win-win for everyone. Because people who buy from them also benefit. Because once the property is handed over, the capital is appreciated. So the first owner makes money and the second as well. So if you want to buy off-land, don't hesitate and reach out to me. I bought a
so that's a little bit different in Dubai. That's That's different in the United States.
Yep.
You know, so you
Nah,
don't
I
want to get
see
into that one.
I see something similar, not quite, but with like the brand new condos that pop up like in like the River Oaks, Upper Kirby area where you know there aren't any to buy, and they're like a year or two away from fully selling that thing out. They'll sell them, but at the same time, it's still not directly through the developer though.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I have when I went to Washington D.C. right over in Arlington. That's you got to have money to live over there. And they were telling me about some like a condo establishment where they had sold $800,000 condos before the building was even built.
Right.
So yeah, but
Yeah,
like
we see that here
I
too.
mean, I don't know if that's this kind of arrangement, but I mean there are people that buy something that hasn't been built yet. Now that not being built till 2026, and once you get 30%, you can sell it, and that's interesting.
Right. So yeah, with the
Yeah.
flipping,
Yeah.
that's one thing that's different where you could sell an interest in it. So that's where they buy 5 at a time and making money off the second hand. So that's one thing that's interesting. Man, you come with last few skip, man. We'd have been through about 10 of the things, man.
No kidding. Better late than
Yeah.
never, baby.
Yeah, better late than never. But now we getting into this thing about Dubai, man. But in Dubai, you could buy interests of properties before they even built through the developer, and then you don't have to have it paid in full. All you have to do is put 30%, and then you could sell it. It's called flipping, and you can flip that to somebody else for profit. So people are buying 5 apartments, 5 condos at a time, and then putting that 30% down and selling 3-4 of them, and then living in the one. So by the time they pretty much done, I got to put 30% down. They get somebody else to buy the rest of it for it. So that's smart. They got all kind of rules, man. I put this clip in here for one simple thing: is that we got to think bigger than just the United States. I think international. I say this every week. International real estate is where it's at, just because of the fact that I found out a while back that if you got an HOA, you don't own the land. You never own the land. Even if you have a allodial title, you still renting. So but you could go other countries and there is no tax like that. And where once you own property, you really own the property. So that might not be the case.
Yeah, in Texas, finding a house that you can still own the mineral rights to is non-existent for the most part. Like
Unless you got a allodial title.
You say what?
Unless you got a allodial title.
And how can you see that?
Yeah, you don't really see. You gotta know exactly what I'm talking about first. But if you have a allodial title, you don't really own the land.
Yeah, you on the surface.
Right.
Anything below it don't belong to you.
Everything above it, yeah, you own that, but everything below it, you don't really own it.
What? And going off what you said, I guess this might be a good thing to talk about at another time. There was a guy I know that said that since this American Dream thing is just marketing, that and going back to you don't own anything. You can pay for your house in 30 years or however, and you still don't own it because they can take it away from you.
Well,
what
they could do,
we got a kind of little debate about how they push this American Dream, buying a house, but it's not really that. It's more of the investment, not the living in it.
Right. I think I've seen that one as well.
I seen one of those videos about California where they're trying to get the original property owners back their properties because the government in California claimed eminent domain, saying that they were going to use it for like a parking lot, but end up putting a hotel on it.
Right. Right.
So
well, what we're talking about is the overall bigger picture that most parts of the United States, you're never going to outright be at rest. Meaning that
No.
if your
Yeah.
heirs miss that property tax payment for a certain amount of years, they can come and take it.
Yep.
It's not quite the same as in other countries. Once you own it, you own it. Nobody can
Yeah.
take it from you.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that in Jamaica, I believe, and there's a few other, you know, a lot of other countries actually. You know, just United States is that they got this property tax thing, and you don't pay that tax, they come and take it. You know.
Yep. I mean, that's why I went and got my CFPS for the international, bro, because it's not just like finding properties there. It's people that want to come here too. And they don't have the access and they don't have a contact for somebody in the States to help them find a property.
Right.
So it works both ways because we still got an influx of people relocating from other countries outside of the whole immigration debacle.
I think you should diversify. You know what I mean? You should have look into just not the United States, get out of your comfort zone. I think Dubai, like she said, they got a lot of benefits being a citizen in Dubai. You know, free education, free this, free that. You know, you got virtually no crime. You know, so
shoot, Canada got free healthcare, and they just on the other side. You just got to drive over there.
Now they wrecked Canada's economy in the last few years. You know, so the Canada economy is terrible right now. But a couple other countries like Dubai and Thailand. Thailand has never been colonized. You know, so they got a great economy. You could I say this every week. You could live like a king out there for a fraction of the cost without inflation.
There's places like that, it's like Thailand, and there are a couple of places in the Caribbean. So you don't even have to go very far, but there's opportunities out there. You just gotta have an open mind, and I think that's something that limits a lot of people's beliefs is that they can't see themselves leaving the country.
Right. We get stuck in that mold. Some people get stuck in the same city. I don't get that nowadays, man. Some people.
Oh, not just that. They stuck in their same neighborhood. Some people need to leave their neighborhood.
Same neighborhood, same city. Like, God damn, how small is your world? But yeah, man, I was gonna go book my flight to Thailand. You know, this summer, go out there and just see what it is. It's only $1,000 round trip. Until I seen the Fly Emirates bathrooms, I was like, man, I'm not sitting on that plane 16 hours with them little bitty bathrooms, man.
That's a long flight, bro. Yeah, I don't see you quenching that long, bro.
Yeah, like man,
it ain't no way.
It's a little bit better than a Delta flight, but it ain't that much difference, man. You gotta be a contortionist, to get one of the bathrooms.
You just gotta go and boss up, get that Emirates.
That's what I'm saying. Emirates. You see Emirates bathroom? Not that first class joint. You got a shower with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody go first class. First class, you talking some money first class.
Yeah.
I can get that economy bathroom ain't no better than Delta.
Oh yeah, I ain't talking about flying economy. You can't fly economy that far.
You know what the first class tickets is?
Yeah, they probably about 15.
I'm like Ocho when it comes to that. I'm cheap when it comes to that, man. I ain't trying to. I'll pay $1,000 for round trip, but I ain't gonna pay no. I'm not gonna pay no $10,000-$15,000, man, to fly, man. Knowing I can get that for. You
either gonna walk out the plane or you gonna hobble out that mud trying to fit an economy on a 20-hour flight.
I told you I'm gonna get in the aisle at point. I'm gonna just get at the door and just point and just aim. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just have to pass.
And people gonna be waiting for you at the other airport.
Right.
Man, ain't no way, bro. Like, ain't no way you could get people sitting there comfortable in that bathroom, bro. There's no way.
I think that business class, that first class ticket, that joint working.
Right. Let's do this next clip right fast.
I ain't flown to Thailand, but I've been to Europe and Africa and stuff. Like, You don't want that. You don't want that kind of.
If this is true, and it takes $50,000 more per income to buy a house after pre-pandemic, that means the nationwide average mortgage payment has gone up about $1,900 a month. And this is why so many are saying it is almost near impossible for millennials and Gen Z to become homeowners. Who do you know has increased their income by $50,000 a year? And the sad part is history is about to repeat itself again. Remember 2020 when the Feds cut interest rates, brought more buyers in the market, drove up prices? What do you think is going to happen in the next 4 to 6 months when the Feds start cutting interest rates again? History is just going to repeat. You call it fear mongering or call it for what you want, but it did happen in 2020. So you can either wait it out and see when rates pull back if it will happen again, or you can buy now and refinance in the future. It's up to you. For those of you who can't wait, here is the nationwide average mortgage interest rate. Remember, these rates are just a ballpark. Give your lender a call so you can get an accurate quote. So let me know in the comments below. Do you think lower interest rates sometime at the end of this year is going to drive prices and payments up again? Let me know down below.
Yep.
Did he just do the same video a couple weeks ago?
That's why I don't do too many of those videos, because there's only so much you can talk about.
I mean, he's saying the same thing.
Right. You've been talking this for the longest.
Yeah, so there's only so much you can talk about. That's why I don't do what everybody else do. Everybody do the same thing. You know, it's not sexy. You know what I mean? You know, it's not, and then it's gonna get repetitive. There's only so much of our business that you could overlap. That's why I kind of like do these reaction videos. It's a little bit more interesting, you know, than hey, you know what earnest money is? Earnest money is, you know, how many times you go slice that? You know,
but talking about I mean, he's actually, it sounds like he's talking about it like it's going up and down every day or something. It's like,
well, you got to make it interesting.
It went up a little bit after that CPI report was in February, so it went up. Rates had gone up a little bit, but now the Fed is coming back saying that they're happier with the numbers. So, like, they dropped some more, didn't it be?
They kind of staying steady right now. They went up when that CPI report that same day, and then they slid back down a little bit, but they staying steady. They're not really moving, you know. They're not really moving at all. I mean, everything will be into a crawl probably till May, June. You know, and then like you said, it's about to be bananas.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but when it is, so if you're a buyer, you do not want to see that.
So now you want to, you know, I ain't gonna give away. I almost gave away too much game, so I'm not even gonna give no game away. But when it's bananas, it's gonna be bananas. You know, that's all I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm already prepping for it.
Right.
You know,
so. Being a buyer's agent in that type of market, so.
And y'all better get it now before they change the rules up too. You know, because you don't tell them next year you might not get no commission as a buyer's agent. So y'all buyer's agents better eat this year.
Right.
Yep.
Buyer commissions ain't going away.
I don't think so. They just talking.
Ain't nobody working for free. Their expectations are unrealistic on that.
Ain't nobody working for free. And the buyer's gonna want representation, so they ain't gonna just let them buy without representation.
Yes.
Right.
That's not going.
And that's why you see NAR offering that free AVR designation class now. So it's like, okay, they trying to kind of teach these agents how to work with buyers and how to communicate that commission conversation too.
And
I bet you they talking about that heavy in that class now.
Oh yeah,
right.
And CJ, I hear that there's supposed to be some realtors or some people trying to start another organization to, you know, as like a competition to NAR.
Yeah, you seen it's like at least like 4 or 5 of the big companies that no longer make it a requirement to be a member of NAR.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey. It's gonna be interesting to see what develops out of this mess.
Right. So basically, you know, what I got from that video is I was telling the customer this earlier today, like, you know, all this, should I work on my credit and should I wait and you're just making it worse on yourself. You know, when everybody hop in the market, it's gonna be fast and furious this summer. And everybody gonna be jockeying for position. Everybody gonna be jockeying for the houses that they want. And what's gonna be left over is, like we said, in 2020, 2021, it's gonna be the dogs. You know, it's gonna be left over. Cherries, all the cherries gonna get picked off the vine or the branch, and it's gonna be left as the dogs. You know, and then
whoever got money is gonna win.
Exactly. So you're gonna pay now or pay later. So which one you rather do? You know, so I'd rather get the house that I want on a discount, and then, you know, pay that couple of months extra, a little bit higher payment, then refi that thing down. You know, as opposed to paying, you know, 15, 20, 30 over sticker, you know, coming out my pocket.
Yep.
You know, so this pay now, pay later. If you like, you know, even
no,
do
pay,
this.
no, you're saying it wrong. You pay now, you're gonna pay more later.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Fact.
The summertime price is not gonna be today's price.
Yeah, right.
Let's get to the. I got two by this guy right here. I wanted to kind of these. I seen these, but it was a while back. Let me go ahead and rerun. Got two more. Then we can roll up out of here.
Man, Corey, we missed it last Friday, bro.
Deal on a house.
You know, all the
I was
houses
going
that he wants when we drive through the neighborhoods, people are like, oh my God, look at that house. Those are the ones we want. Somebody saying, hey man, I don't want this house. I'm neglecting it. I don't see any value in it. I wish somebody would just come and buy this. It's more of a headache to me. You ever had anything that was a headache to you?
Mowing the grass is pretty annoying.
Okay, what would you do to get rid of that problem?
You would pay somebody to do it.
Okay, that's much like somebody having a house that they don't want. They just want you to take the problem off their hand a lot of times. So sometimes they'll owe a bank. You can come in and you can negotiate the mortgage down, or you can just buy it from them at a very low value.
Hey, Dad, how do I find a good deal on a house?
You know, all the houses that nobody wants when we drive through the neighborhoods. People.
Did you say Dad?
No, it sounded like he said.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah, I'd have never thought that. He threw me off for a loop with that one. You know, so but now what what do y'all think about that one? You know, I'll let y'all.
I mean, that's what wholesalers do.
Yeah.
Is they find these properties in these areas where people either need to sell, or they just don't want the property flat out and okay with, you know, whatever price they get offered. Because in a lot of situations, especially in like older Black neighborhoods where somebody's grandpa was living there for a while, they passed on or whatever. Now they inherit the property, but they could be in a whole nother state.
Right.
They can't do nothing with their property if they don't have the mindset for it, so they just want to get rid of it, cash it out.
Yeah.
Right. I never understood how these old, especially these commercial buildings and these old houses, how they get so far out of code and neglected. You know, so
think about it, like that same situation. If somebody like is inheriting a property, they could just be paying the taxes on it. If they're in another state, they could just be paying the taxes, so it's not taken from them, and you're not doing anything with the property itself.
Probably get somebody to come and cut the grass or something, and
they might do that. They doing the bare minimum just so they can keep the property without it being taken by the city or the county or whatever.
Yeah. Neglection.
They don't have no plans to redevelop. They don't have no plans to fix up. They just don't want to lose it. But we'll sell it.
And for a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, the financial situation is different. They just don't have the reserves. They live in just to make the money, you know what I'm saying, so they can keep their head above the water. So, you know what I'm saying, a lot of times when something goes out, you know what I'm saying, they got Uncle Ben going in there trying to put Band-Aids on everything instead of just completely replacing it. And then that becomes a problem after a while.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the financial means, what else you gonna do?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit more than the neglect. I think he is looking at it from a wholesaler's lens. I think it's location when you're looking at properties. It's all about the
Mhm.
location. Then you got to look at for me, it was a big thing is the taxes. The tax district. So especially if I'm going luxury, I just refuse to pay $30,000-$40,000 a year on property tax. People don't know that's in perpetuity. So it's almost like you damn near do better what CJ mentioned earlier in like renting something. You got to take all that in consideration, like maybe leasing something like the Grant Cardone method if you go luxury. You know what I'm saying? So this depends.
But most of those situations you're not going to find in areas where they paying $30,000-$40,000 on taxes. Neglected homes. You're not going to find neglected homes.
No. I'm talking about. I'm just talking about in general.
In general. Oh, okay.
Right. I'm talking about when you my overall strategy. Like I won't. If I get into that $1.5 million, $2 million space, that's when you start getting the high tax. You starting to pay, $30,000-$40,000. That's in perpetuity, and it's going up. So yeah, you got that property value, but at the same time, you got that tax though.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost you rather liquidate those properties. I don't know, it's like a tip thing. It's almost like this Range Rover I got. It's cool while you got it, but you got to, before you start having problems, you got to get rid of it.
Yeah, but I think people that are living like that, they not too worried about the property taxes though.
Exactly. The money that they make, it ain't $30,000-$40,000 taxes.
This depends. Like if you come from money, if you this is not new money, I think you good. But I think a lot of us, we first generations that's starting to make money. And if we don't play our cards right, we could be the last generation. This depends, this depends on your hands. If you don't stack that deck right, you leaving with, I got some properties that the tax bill on there $40,000, $50,000, and then my daughter might be a teacher, she can't afford that. Then I set it up where these properties gonna pay for it, and they pull one card out that deck of cards and it all come tumbling down.
That's why you got to get with Patrick, get with like a real estate attorney, get that trust set up, get that insurance coverage.
In most cases, people that's making that money got they stuff set up to where, saying, after the fact, saying, they're not leaving the next generation strung out. I think that's the lower and middle class, saying, that's actually, as a problem or a challenge with setting the next generation up. But once you get to that level, saying, the likelihood of leaving your daughter that's a teacher asked out to pay $30,000-$40,000 a year is highly unlikely. You probably got $1 million to $2 million policy that she's going to inherit some money, so she'll be able to take care of that at least until she sells it.
That won't cut it. That's going. If she got $1 million policy,
at the same time though, if you at that spot and you creating wealth like that, your heirs ain't being teachers. Like they know they're not working.
Your connection's too deep for your children to be a teacher at that point.
You know what I mean?
That's not true. You can't control what your children want for their life. You can't. No matter how much.
He say, "Yeah, you can."
He say, "Yeah, you
can." You definitely can.
You definitely can, bro.
You can control your kids on. You can tell them what they want to do with their life.
Hey, other people do it.
Who is other people?
Hey, look. How many times have you seen when somebody get to that level? It's like, look, either you do what I want, or I'm cutting your water off. I'm cutting that budget. That budget I'm giving you on a monthly basis, I'm cutting that off. So guess what them kids gonna do? Them kids gonna fall behind.
Hey, just for example, just throwing this out here. How many doctors last name Patel, and how many teachers last name Patel?
Right.
Not many teachers.
Right.
Right.
So you can do it.
He was like, "You can do it."
But
get in there and
this is-
study.
I'm missing my point. I'm talking about
Right.
my perspective for us. Like if you talk about people last name certainly Patel, there's more of in their culture. I'm talking about
Right.
for us.
So we need to change our culture.
Right. I'm not talking philosophically. I'm talking really like people, really a narrow niche for people like me. Like we're first time. We are the first millionaire in the family. We're the first one to make it. How do you overturn that? And where you first generation, so we need to learn somewhere. Yeah, we didn't come from. Yeah, we didn't come from where it's already embedded and then baked. It's baked into to the family, and it was common knowledge. All right, we do this, that, and the third. So this show is set up for people like myself that are we seeking the knowledge of where do we go.
Man, the same way Master P paid Michael Jackson to turn up and learn the game on the music side, we could do the same thing. It's already been done elsewhere. All we need to do is tap in and find out how they did it, and instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, do what they did.
But this is the part of the podcast. The main thing, again, I had my daughter when she was here during the weekend. We sat down and watched my podcast. She gave me some critiques on, because she's from a different generation. One of the main critiques is that you learn stuff, but at the same time, we need to make it to where it's coming from perspective from our perspective, a little bit pointed, and I want people that's coming from my perspective, is in my shoes, to learn. Like, hey, if you don't know that there's a problem, you just think, all right, make the money, go sort out itself. Nah, you got to still strategize on this thing. You got to get with Patrick and stuff like that to have strategies and game plan. I wouldn't meet myself personally. I think when you bite off more than you can chew, when you go to those big properties, I think that's when you get in trouble.
Yeah.
I think, and I know it's like counterintuitive.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I know it's counterintuitive. We want to get the biggest and the most grandest things that we could get.
Soon as you make a little money.
Yeah. However, you might do it better. I'm kind of feeling Grant Cardone might, for the long term, having that, maybe leasing that thing for like 5-10 years, and then downsizing when you get older. Because you die in that $1 million, $2 million plus house. That's a big bill. $100,000 a year. What is Ross? $100,000 a month? No, it's $30,000 a month. This is landscaping.
Yeah. So that's why we gotta kill that notion of having instant gratification and teach to live below your means while you grind until you get your bread up.
Right.
And
Even when you get your bread up, you still can't. You gotta move.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like you got to get to a point where you have residual passive income coming in, and then that's when you start being able to play a little bit. But that instant gratification is pushed so hard especially in our community, that we need to find ways to kill that and teach, hey, you gotta keep your nose down and grind.
Well, let me put it. I guess everybody missing my point.
I must be missing your point, bro.
Yeah, you missed me.
I'm missing it too.
Break it down, B, because I ain't understand.
Right. Strategy, game plan. You could have extravagant things, but there's more than one. We just said earlier that you got to think globally. So if you want to invest in a super duper lavish palace dream home, why not look into doing that somewhere where there's not in perpetuity taxes? Doing that in Jamaica, Ghana, somewhere where, all right, once I build this is mine forever. Why go ahead and buy a resale in the United States where I'm gonna pay $80,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year, and I'm passing that down to my heirs? And now they might not be on the same, even after they run through this money. Boom. All right, now what I'm gonna do with this $1 million property? I'm gonna go ahead and sell that thing. But why not stretch it out and go, all right, well, I got a $1 million property, which is gonna be $5 million in Ghana somewhere. I'm getting more bang for my buck. And then once I own that thing, I own the whole block. I don't have to pay taxes. So I'm just talking about strategizing that's better than what our parents had, because we're in a whole new global game. Does that make
All right,
sense?
so how's that different from what I said?
No,
I didn't say limit what you're doing to the state, but at the
Right.
same time, since a lot of us are first generation coming into money like that, it still has to be some kind of pass down of education.
Right, and that's what the purpose of the podcast is for. Like, all right, we need to learn. Hey, a lot of people don't look at it this way. You didn't. All right,
Yeah.
the first thing we thought is to get that big property, but you don't know that. Hey, that big property comes with big taxes.
Yep.
And you go get that's forever, and it's increasing.
Yeah, there's a reason why it took. I don't know how it took a long time for Evander Holyfield to sell his property. Rick Ross ended up buying it, but that was years. Just like Jordan's property in Chicago, I don't even know if it's sold yet.
Right.
Years.
Yeah. Right. You gonna sit on that thing for years, like
Yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean? So, and it's just accumulating.
Yep. This age of information. This age of being connected to people globally with just your phone, so you don't even have to fly nowhere per se, just to make connections.
Right. So I say let's look at a holistic strategy. I don't think big luxury properties, permanent in your portfolio is smart. I think the mid million under. Maybe this depends on where you live. If you live on the coast, maybe a little bit more. But when you get into those 4, 5, 10, nah, that's not smart, Playboy.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I wouldn't necessarily say that.
When you're in the spotlight, Houston, Miami.
When is a $10 million besides Miami? When is a $10 million property smart?
So you went from one
in
to
any
10.
situation, right? In any situation, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be better to own the property more than renting it. Now, you can sit there and talk and hypothetical all you want to, but there's a reason Jay-Z just went to California. Him and Beyonce went to California and bought that property. Bought 250 million, whatever case may be. There's a reason Rick Ross owns his home in Miami, you know what I'm saying, and Atlanta too. There's a reason why T.I. owns their own home. There's a reason why these millionaires own their own home and not just rent. So you can't just sit here and say, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, it's better to rent it once you get over $1 million, because the history tells us different. Historical data tells us different. So
but just like we see it though. It's all about
what
location.
situation? You dodged my question. Let's stop right there. What situation? If you first gen, unless you 100 million, or a billionaire, what situation? I'm talking about people with intermediate money, where you stretching yourself to get that $10 million, where you got to finance it, or let's say I'm only worth $1 million or $2 million. And I financed to get that $10 million property. What's it? What's it?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, if you worth $1 million, you trying to buy a $10 million house,
you're overextending yourself anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that's what a lot of people do though too. I mean, a lot of people try to get that $1 million, $2 million house, and they only making $100,000. They only making between the $150.
Yeah, that ain't recommended anyway. No matter.
So it's almost,
I mean, you know what I'm saying? We talking realistic. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You kind of, to prove your point, you know what I'm saying, you kind of narrowing this thing down to unrealistic situations. Ain't nobody doing that.
This is real.
So to answer your question, at any point, if you can afford it, you purchase it. So I don't care what situation you put it on. If you're a rapper, if you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, whatever situation, if you can afford it, you purchase it. That answers your question.
Don't do it unless you can.
That's bad advice.
I was like, don't do it unless you can do it twice.
Right. That's bad. That's more realistic advice.
If you don't have the means,
you can afford it. That don't mean that's the best thing to do.
That's bad
advice.
You can't afford to do it twice on, especially like an investment like that. Then you way beyond your means. You never especially if you depending on what your job or what your business is. You might be subject to the government changing regulations, the financial industry. Like if you're in the stock market, you never know what's going to happen. So That's why you want to be careful with the way you spend your money. Like
Right.
just because you can
Especially-
afford it and now don't mean you can afford it later when times get hard.
Right. But not necessarily mean that times get hard. It means that, all right, how long is this $10 million property plus sustainable? Even beyond the grave. And then think about it. This $10 million property, it looks glamorous, but all right, let's say all the amenities that cost to maintain this, the maintenance. Is it worth it? And all right, you gotta really analyze this. Is it worth it? Now, unless I'm guaranteed, all right, I'm Jeff Bezos or something like that. I'm guaranteed I got this stock, that all right, I'm a billionaire. $10 million property, but I'm talking 10 million is cool. But I'm talking about us first generation. Us we still on the bubble, we still on the grizzle. You don't want to bite off more than you can chew.
Yep.
But those are analysis you should
hey.
be making before you buy that property.
Right.
Say it again.
Those are analysis you should be making before you make that. If you're
Right,
first
right,
generation,
but what I'm
should
trying
you,
to get at,
if you know that it's going to cost, you should be finding out it's going to cost this much to maintain this home. Instead of buying a 10 million, you might be buying a 3 million.
That should be at
Two
every
million.
income level. That ain't even luxury related. That's every income level.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
don't even think that has to do with luxury.
But do we or do we not bite off, for the most part, especially in our community, bite off more than we can chew? Is that not a thing?
Yep.
It is a thing. It is a thing. But
and that's what the
say you're saying.
podcast is for.
That's
what the
why I said
podcast
we got to
is for,
change the
education.
culture. Yeah, that's why I said we got to change the culture.
So that's what I mean. Like, yeah, that ain't smart. Like, all right, if I'm what situation with me getting a $2 million house right now, me being a bastard, how would that be smart?
Hey, not even that, B. You get your income tax and you got a couple grand. Now you want to upgrade the Toyota to a Benz. We didn't even talk about houses. We talk about something that's depreciating on you. As soon as you drive it off the lot.
I'm even talking about houses. We oftentimes we go for the biggest and the shiniest object. We talked about this last week. How do you catch a monkey? With shiny objects. You dump that in the hole and they try to grab it before they realize let it go. You done walked up on them and caught them.
Well, I know one thing that I talk about with like my first time home buyers, we not even talking about the $1 million homes, but if they get approved for X amount, I let them know you don't have to get X amount house. They just telling you that's what the max they'll loan you. You know, so if they say we'll loan you $480,000, that don't mean let's go look for a $490,000 house. You know,
A lot of people,
and I try to let them know you don't have to do that. You know, you don't have to get the max.
A lot of people be house rich, and that's just the middle class. Even if
poor.
you house poor.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, and this is middle class people. So I'm talking as people this is your first time. You're the first person in the family that's made $1 million. Don't forget that. Just because you could afford it. I disagree. Just because you afford it, that don't mean that's the right move.
Right.
I can afford a lot of stuff. That don't mean it's the right move.
Let another COVID happen, and you're not an essential worker.
Well, this is the thing. You got to ask yourself. Don't forget, it's luxury. Luxury means it's in excess. It's beyond a necessity at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, just because I could afford a brand new range, you see what I got. I got the 2020 joint. Even that's luxury. It's sitting there collecting dust. I'm having second thoughts. I'm like, damn, I could have gone ahead when they got me a hybrid.
But that's a depreciating asset. What we talking about is houses.
I'm connecting the two.
You're saying that it's better to go and rent a house versus going ahead and purchasing a house once you get over a certain amount.
Let me explain my position.
Okay, let's hear it.
I think with this luxury stuff, I think either we need to incorporate it into a business or make that ultra luxury stuff short term stuff. Like rent cars. If you want a mansion, rent it for a year. Rent it for a year, 18 months, maybe 2 years. Get that thing up. Because you know,
2 years.
You'd have got the itch on. You'd have had your parties. You'd have had your get over.
Oh, you'd have lived a good life, man. It's time to go.
You live a good life. That going back to reality.
Go back to
reality. You know what I'm saying? Because that bill gonna keep coming every year if you buy that thing.
You done blew $250,000 on renting this house for 12 months, but you said you can say you had a good time, and you wouldn't find somebody to do that.
You know what I'm saying? But now you're not really blowing $250 because you're writing it off for taxes. You writing that thing
You
off.
can do that if you own the house. Okay, so let me give you an example. Let me give you an example.
Let me finish.
Damn, you ain't finished, bitch. Lord have mercy. How long was this thing
like
going
you cut me off. You cut me off.
Oh, my bad. All right, go ahead. Goodness gracious. Okay, go ahead.
Or like I said, you could have more of a short-term strategy. Don't try to put. I would say back to my original point. Having them big $5 million, $2 million in your portfolio is not wise. To me, I would say if I'm going to live that, I'm going to have that for 3-4 years. Get the appreciation, sell it, then downsize. I'm not gonna try to pass. I'm not gonna be 60, 70, 80 years old with a $10 million mansion. Unless I'm Jeff Bezos.
Yeah,
it don't make sense to me.
You could have a $2 million.
I guarantee Jeff Bezos ain't got no $10 million property. It was way more than that.
$2 million.
But I'm saying unless I'm Jeff Bezos, not. I mean, I have similar type of that type of bread. Not, I'm saying I'm him per se. I'm saying I have similar type of bread like him. I wouldn't do that. Even if that, I wouldn't. I don't know if I would do that either. Because who am I impressing? You got to ask yourself in our community, who am I trying to impress? And then don't tell me that this. I got. It feels good. I got to. After you experience it, now what? Now the money, monetary wise, is kind of gone. You get flat, man. All these expenses, man. Get off that thing. And put your bread somewhere else.
I think that it's easy to say that now, but you know what I'm saying the principles of them being able to purchase a property is beyond what we can actually understand, right? You know what I'm saying? Jeff Bezos is not going to be in a regular neighborhood where you got a $500,000 house and anybody can easily walk up to his door or threaten his family. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to that level, I have to worry about security. I have to worry about protecting my family. I have to worry about things other than just saving money and being inside a community with regular folk, because I'm not regular at that point. I'm known.
If you're Jeff Bezos, if you take the Jeff Bezos example, then I'll be in the country somewhere where I own the whole city where you can't get to me. So you know what I'm saying? You got to drive a couple of miles to even get it. So I'd rather have the land instead of putting that big. Well, I'm just paying for the dirt as opposed to putting a mega mansion on that thing. But I said. Even if I had Jeff Bezos' money, where I can't, my children can't mess it up. But I'm not like that. I'm on the bubble. I'm on the grizzle. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about us intermediate dudes that's above average. That's we got bread, but we ain't got no Jeff Bezos. I ain't got Birdman bread yet. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't in the 9 figures. I'm trying to crack the 7. I'm tickling 7. I'm a tickler. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't got the 9 joints. The 9 joints, all right, it might be something else. Don't forget, it's a big leap between 7 and 9. It's a big leap between 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Let's not get this twisted.
But at the same time, you're going to have measures in place that's going to protect your money regardless of your descendants.
That 7 could be 6 quicker than that 9 could be 8. Am I right or wrong? That 7 figures could be 6 figures quicker than that 9 figures could be 8 figures.
Yeah.
I think they both just as fast. If you lose your money,
depending on how you spend.
If you got right, if you got a hole in a gallon jug and a 5-gallon jug, you know what I'm saying, you still lose it. I mean, what are we talking about?
It's different levels. It's a different level. Different level. You don't understand money. You can't understand money if you say that.
I don't think you
That's
understand or even
that's
believe
seven
what you
niggas
said.
But the first,
Or even
but
believe what you
it's
said right now.
understood. It's easier to lose the money after you like than make it.
Right.
So
But
you
once
gotta
you
have some
get to a
measure.
certain spot,
Facts.
once you get to that
I
8
can
and
co-sign
9,
that principle. I don't know what B talking
huh?
about.
What you say, B?
Now once you get to that 8 and
I-
9, it's a lot harder to go down.
But understand though, once you get to that 8 or 9, you already in the mindset and got stuff in place to keep you there.
Right.
Like you don't go from having nothing to having 8, 9 figures. You usually
Exactly.
hit that 6 and then 7, and then you learn
Right.
how to get to that and then keep it up there. But that
And then-
once you get to that 7 figures the first time, that's easy to lose that.
right. That you just made my point. That's why I say that 7 easy to go back to 6, and that's too close to nothing to me. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? For my blood.
If you think about it, $1 million is $750 now anyway. In the grand scheme of things.
No, Hyman comment in the comments it's safe to say that a person makes $1 million, then they have enough sense the right decision to keep $1 million. No sirski. You better
Not
ask Adrian
necessarily.
Peterson and all these other dudes. Yeah, you better ask a lot of these sports dudes that go Brizoke, real Quiznik.
Hey, there's a lot of athletes that made some bread and lost it.
Yeah, exactly. So nah.
Yeah,
there was a lot of people on Wall Street that made all that money.
That's
So there's a
9, 8,
leap.
7
There's a
figures,
leap.
you know what I'm saying? Now they down.
Now I think there's a leap between the 9. When you get to the 8 and the 9, there's a difference between the 6 and the 7s. Because you could stumble upon $1 million a day. Young Doe said this, man. You could make $1 million off your phone. They got influencers that make $1 million.
You could make $1 million winning a Fortnite tournament.
You could make $1 million streaming.
Right.
$1 million ain't $1 million no more. $1 million really like 100,000 nowadays.
Well, I said
You know what I mean?
750.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't know what part of the planet you on.
I'm talking about how quick you
$1
can
million,
make it.
$1 million, $1 million,
Nah, no
100,000.
sirski, no sirski, no sirski.
Boy, I wish
let's
Chevalier
talk
was on
about
here
how many
now,
million-
boy. I wish Chevalier was on here. Goodness gracious. Where's Chevalier? Chevalier, call in, man. Call in, Chevalier. This man talking reckless out here. Man talking reckless. Yeah,
So
God,
I
put him on
remember
speaker, man. You know what I'm saying?
we
This
just
sounded
talked
reckless.
about this earlier. Big Mac's $18 now. I remember when they were 2 for $2. This was in our lifetime.
What Big Mac you talking about is $18 from
We
McDonald's?
just played the clip. We just played the clip earlier.
Yeah. 99 cents back in the
It
day.
used to be 99 cents, Playboy. You know,
I go
so
to
$1 million
McDonald's right now and give me a Big Mac and it ain't no $18. So I don't know what they
in
must be in
certain parts of the
California or something.
Yeah, certain parts of the country it's $18. We played
You
the
ain't
clip
gonna get it for
earlier.
99 cents either.
You ain't gonna get it for 99.
No, he
either.
ain't paying
You
up for 99 cents. He ain't paying
Yeah,
up
that's
99.
so.
And that's a problem is because inflation has gone up so much, but the salary,
Exactly.
people's salaries and the money they're bringing in is not in the same trajectory on the inflation scale.
That's a legit
So,
problem. That's what.
yeah.
That's why the baby boomers is running into a problem because now a lot of them is banking on Social Security. Social Security ain't keeping up with the inflation on rental now, on rental
Right.
income, on rental
And
property now.
imagine when
It's a
we
big
get
problem.
to Social Security age, what's gonna happen? So
That's why you can't rely on Social Security.
Social Security
Right.
not gonna be
Can't
around.
rely
It's
on
gonna
that.
be non-existent.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not
So
gonna be
my
around.
point is, you proved my point. $1 million ain't $1 million. It's not what it is no more. You got so many people that's becoming millionaires. Before, like back in my time, I don't want to say my time, I sound dated, but back when I was in the 80s and the 90s, there was only a fixed amount of millionaires. Now there's what is the statistic? Like 100 people, 124 people a month becoming millionaires. It's like it's getting outrageous. Like so many people getting in the club. You know, so it's a lot easier to obtain that. That was a big feat back then. Now you could make a song ski millionaire. You know what I mean?
So how does that
it don't
prove
take
your
much.
point that $1 million is 100,000?
Yeah, it's so obtainable now. So it's like anything. If how can I put it? So if back in the days, Jordans, well, it still might be like that, but they got so many replicas. Remember when the Jordans were first coming out? Like the first runs?
Yep.
When you had the things on, you was an all-star because you had the Jordans. You could afford a $200 pair of shoes.
They was 100 when
Right.
I was
A lot of people
when I was
couldn't.
growing up.
A lot of people couldn't. Yeah. Them
Right.
things was
So
$100. Yeah. Easy.
now kids got Jordans on, so they're not as special as it once was when I was a kid. When you had Jordans
Nah, that's
on,
because they parents paying too much for them.
Correct.
but my point is
And when
that
they dropped, that line still wrapped around the corner, so it's still valuable.
the line's still wrapped around the corner, but you got more people that got them. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Hey, don't forget. I know this is probably a little bit before your time. It's not probably me and Barry time. When we was in high school, you had a pair of Jordans.
Damn, he gonna age you like that, Barry? He gonna age
I
you
mean,
like
you
that?
still got the grades.
I'm
Don't let the grade that fool you.
I'm older than all of y'all.
Now.
I had a pair of Jordans way back in the day.
Right. When
Like
the Jordans dropped, you had them Jordans on your feet.
I had the threes.
Right.
First pair.
Well, that was
The first pair of
reflective
shoes I ever paid more than $70-$80 for.
That was the one with the reflective tongue.
And the threes.
I don't know what that is. I'm illiterate to that.
Oh.
That's the one with the reflective tongue.
Huh?
You just Google it,
Like a
man.
red one with the reflective tongue.
No. Let me see.
'Cause that was the last one I had. The last one I had was the one with the black and red with the reflective tongue.
Shit, you had them jump man. You ain't had a real J's.
No, I had the real J. But
You got the one with the Jordan was back. The Jordan was back going this way.
Hey, he got the one with the joint with the butt crack on it.
I'm gonna tell you how sick I was. That was the last.
Those are the
Okay,
threes
all right.
right there.
All right, so I must have
he
the
had
four.
the cement joint.
Them clean.
Yeah, the cement ones. Yeah. I used to
I must
love
have
them.
the four. Which one was the one with was the reflective tongue?
The reflective
Somebody
tongue. I'm
comment
not
on
sure.
Yeah, that might have been the 4 or the 5. But that was when I was in
don't know
10th
which one
grade.
it is.
That was when I was in 10th grade. I think those came out when I was in middle school. Junior high. I think those came out when I was in 8th grade. Those right
Yeah,
there.
so
I
yeah,
got
I think these came out like in '88. I think probably around '88, '87
so
or '88.
I had these in like 91. 91. That was my last pair of Jordans in 91. I never, but I tell you how sick I was in the head. I wore a size 11 and a half, maybe 12. They only had a 10 and a half left in the store.
Bought them anyway, huh?
I bought them
in
anyway.
the shoes.
And I had my feet was so numb.
You couldn't even
You
tie
know
the
what I'm
shoes up. You couldn't even. Yeah, the laces loose in the mud.
Right. I had down the nose look like all busted out there like a Stay Puff. So that's what they were calling me. They ripped me out of them shoes, man. Like I said, I learned my lesson. I'll tell you the complete story. This is story last. So I was so sick with it. I was so thirsty for the attention. I brought these 10 and a halves, knowing their whole size short. So I loosened up the shoestring. I was cool first, second period. I love the attention. Oh man, you got because I paid I think $1.50 for them things. So I used to work with my grandfather in his landscaping business. So I worked that whole summer, to get a pair. So, but I went to walking by lunchtime. Shoot, I couldn't feel my legs. You know what I'm saying? I'm still loosening strings. Ain't giving no aid. So everybody, by the last after lunch, everybody started ripping, man. Hey, you about to bust out them bitches, huh? You know what
See, we
What
was
was
like
that
we was on
movie?
the
I'm gonna
J.
get you sucker. Remember I'm gonna get you sucker? No, it was I'm gonna get you sucker. Your boy got shot.
Yeah, with the big toe.
Yeah, big toe. They were calling me the dude with the
Isaac
big toe.
Hayes with the big toe.
Yeah, so I'm like, man. So I tried to bring him back. I'm like, man, man, you got sock gunk in there. You can't take it back. So I was stuck with him. You know, I ain't know nothing about reselling, so I lost the whole 150. So
The hell is
lesson
sock gunk?
Sock gunk is, you know, when they had so many people wearing them one time to go out and then bring them back. So they'll look at the shoe, they'll really examine the shoe, and if you got little bitty balls of white from your sock inside of the shoe, they'll look all inside of there. You got sock, they call it sock gunk. You got little bitty lint balls in there. They're like, man, nah, you wore these because I see the sock gunk in there. So nah, we ain't taking it back. So I couldn't get my 150 back. I just had, I was just looking at the
And
bag.
couldn't wear them shoes no more either.
Couldn't wear the shoes no more because they'll get. And since then, I never bought a pair of Jordans in my life.
Sure, we used to rock the dope boy Nikes with the starter coat. That's what we was on.
Right. I bought a pair of LeBron. It was down to the same thing. I had a flashback. And these were my right side. They still were too tight. So I don't really rock with sneakers. I like Air Max and that's it. I'm not a sneakerhead. I like Italian shoes, man. I'm old school. Phoenix and Maury's, man. Real peace stuff. But nah, that's it. I think I had one more. Let's roll out after this.
Let's get it.
By Detroit Players.
Loan debt is the worst debt you can get. I went bankrupt and wiped out millions. The guy could go bankrupt, had $20,000 worth of student loan debt and can't wipe it out. They thought they did everything that they were supposed to. They got straight A's. They're working this corporate job and there's no hope. What can you tell them?
There's nobody that struggled through school more than I did. I have a learning disability. I went to see my mom and I asked her about college. She said, you've been working already 8 years. I was like 18. If you didn't want to go to college, I understand it. But I think if you want to run a company one day, you should think about school. So I said, Mom, how am I going to school? We have no money. She said, I want you to go and find the most expensive school you can. Because as poor as we are, they got to take some financially challenged. And you got to go up there and make a sale and explain to them you're a different kind of kid.
You said you wanted to go to school to learn business. I'm talking about most Americans. They have no idea what they're going for. If you're going to go to college, man, at least have an idea of what you're passionate about, because your passion is going to rise to the top. Student loan debt is the worst debt you could get.
Hey, before we comment on that, I wanted to really address what Hyman's saying as well. Like, nah,
hold on. Did the video finish?
Yeah, that was it. That was it. Yeah, it looped over.
What did Hyman say?
Nah, he said it's safe to say if a person makes $1 million, then they have enough sense to right decision to keep $1 million. That is absolutely false because I made $1 million in my 20s, and with the wrong people around me, and there's not having knowledge, you know, that 7 go to 6 ASAP, that 6 could go to 0 ASAP. I lived it, you know what I mean? So, you know, that just because you can make it, that don't mean you can keep it. That's two totally different art forms, you know. So, you know, so that is absolutely false, you know. Now saying that you can make it, can you make it again? Yeah, but you know, keeping it is the whole different thing. That's a different ball game. But yeah, go ahead to the student loan debt. What he was saying, and I'll go ahead and let you open it up. Then I'll say my 2 cents. And then we can wrap it up.
We talked about this a couple of sessions ago, where even some of these Fortune 500 companies are no longer requiring degrees; they prefer experience.
Right.
So, especially if you're on an entrepreneurial path, there are so many different ways to get education now outside of a 4-year institution that'll still do you just as good, that it makes no sense to go put yourself in that type of situation. Once you're ready to go buy a house, it's going to count against you, which is the income ratio. And we're seeing that firsthand now. Like, you can be a doctor or lawyer and still not qualify for a house because of your student loan debt. So you got to make sure that, and what he said about going and this, you know, going after your purpose through college. At the same time, it still needs to be some type of skill that yields high income. Just because you're passionate about something don't mean you're gonna make money doing it or make good money doing it. And with AI, your passion could be it, it could exist now, but the way AI is progressing, that joint could be taken over by AI in the next year or two, and then you out of a job. Then what you gonna do? Just because you're chasing just your passion.
Right. I think a lot of degrees and that's offered in college are worthless degrees. I think we've
even
been
in STEM
programmed.
now.
Huh?
Even some in STEM.
Right. I think even more in the arts and like the social services are worthless degrees. It's like you're doing this to make $40,000-$50,000 a year. It's not really a high skill job. I think a lot of people go to college for the experience. There's a continuation of grade school, and they just go into college just to go into college. I said this a while back. That movie Us was about one of the aspects of that was being convinced that that we need to go to college and pledge a certain fraternity, and the whole thing, the school days thing we got sold on, back in the 80s, like that we wanted to experience that. But other cultures that come in and without these college degrees and out earn us. I think the only way you need to go to college is if you're talking about lawyer, doctor, engineer, stuff like that, that's high earning, that's going to require you to get a high earning skill. I think
even with engineering, you got to be careful now because with AI and technology, especially on the software side, your job is going to be non-existent in the near future. So you got to be very specific.
I think a lot of us go, they go to college to get the easiest degree to say I had a degree. Mass communications, sociology, general studies. Well, I got a degree, and it's just they just want to walk across the stage, and then it's the family, just to make family proud.
That's what they told they had to do.
Yep.
Right. So
and
don't know.
Our grandparents' parents didn't know better because that's what they were told.
Right. Go get your education. That's gonna solve everything. And then we result to every time some bills come, I'm going back to school. I don't make no sense. That's gonna just put you in further debt.
I believe in education. I just don't believe in college for everybody.
It's not necessarily a bad thing because at that time education was valuable. So it didn't completely come from nowhere, right? So at that time, if you had a degree, that was a leg up on majority of the world out there. So it was valuable for our parents to tell us to actually go. Yes, absolutely. So but now
there were a lot of jobs, companies that said that was you had to have a degree just to even apply for it.
Yes.
Or you apply for a job.
I have my rebuttal after
times have evolved. Times have evolved, and you can't use the same principles now. That's just like the cats talking about LeBron and MJ. The NBA now is not the same NBA that it was back then. Everybody want to compare, but you can't use the same principles that now just because the world has evolved. But it was valuable back then, so it wasn't a bad principle.
I'm gonna take my grandfathers for example. One my Nigerian side, highly educated. Came with the degrees, worked in the oil field. Invented this invention. They lived a block away from my other grandparents. He owned his own landscaping business. Then I think he went to 8th grade and dropped out, went to the military. This is before ASVAB and all that. Went to Korean War and all that. He worked at a plant and he worked, had his own landscaping business. And actually, my grandfather that had the landscaping business house was nicer than my my Nigerian grandparents that came here. That was highly educated. So this was back in the 50s and the 60s. So owning your own business and with work, hard work, and people skills could get you just as much money as that degree could.
But you fail to realize too, your Nigerian grandfather had one job.
So
your grandfather had the landscaper and worked the plant. He was putting in hours.
He was putting in hours, but
that's because he was putting a lot of wear and tear on his body.
So you keep in mind that
my Nigerian grandfather passed when he was in his 50s. My other grandfather passed when he was in his 90s.
Right. We don't know the details on that.
Yeah, you can't attribute that to him going.
Right. I'm just saying that.
I do attribute.
People need to know, like, as an entrepreneur, you're gonna work more than what you would have working for somebody else.
We get off subject by that, but let me say this.
That's the same thing.
Hold on.
It is the
I'm
same
gonna make
thing.
a statement,
but it's not the B's point. So he's trying to say you off.
Right.
No.
Go ahead and say what you gotta say, B.
I'm about to get off subject, but I'm about to go bring it right back. I'm saying, as far as the health issue, I think what gave my grandfather that longevity is working out there in that sun. You know, and working out every day. My other grandfather, like me, had a desk job. You know what I mean? And he was out of that at 58.
I mean, hey, if you got a desk, I mean, if you don't work out, it's gonna happen. But
right. So
I'm just talking about from the standpoint of hours put in from a work standpoint. Your Nigerian granddad worked oil field. All right, he put in work. Your other granddad worked in the plant and had a business. It come with a territory that if you're gonna have a W-2 or you work for somebody, you're gonna have someone on the side, on the entrepreneurial side, to build some wealth.
He retired from the plant when in the 80s. He's been retired. He retired at like in his 50s. I want to say.
Yeah, but he was doing landscaping while he was working though, right?
Huh?
But he was still.
He started the business, but he was full time. He went full time in his business since like the 90s. Because I was,
right. I'm saying,
like,
you got to put in that extra work to build that business up to offset what you was making with that job working for somebody.
No, he started the business, like I said, and that was extra income because both of my grandmothers was at home moms. They never worked a day in their life. But point is that you put in. I don't know how many hours. I know my grandfather worked on the weekends as well, so he put in a lot of hours at that corporate job for Phillips 66. So he put in a lot of hours. I don't know. He might have put in the same hours as my grandfather with the hybrid. Who knows? But I know that the house was nicer. He had a bigger plot of land, and I know like when you turn that corner, when you go from Plaza to the Coin was a little bit rougher neighborhood, even though there was a block apart, So my point of what I'm saying is that you always could entrepreneurism has always been there. I think we were brainwashed into getting that degree, and that wasted. I don't want to say wasted, but that's a 4-year span of your life where I could take a business and dump 4 years of my life into a business. I think I get a greater yield. I think you're gonna be in debt after that 4 years, as opposed to I'm gonna be in the positive.
Yeah, I think that was all a part of the whole integration trick that they played on us.
Right.
Like we had business, we was thriving, but they pushed so much for integration to sit at somebody else's table. Right. They don't want you there in the first place.
This is the thing. I'll give you a little personal testimony since I say tell a story. Whenever I first of all, I've never used my degree. I got a degree in computer science. Never really used it. But whenever I worked in corporate or worked for somebody, there was the lowest times in my life. I'd be stable, but I wouldn't flourish. Whenever I went out on my own and did my own creations, whether it be licenses like I am now, or like when I own my own video stores, I boomed out. When you work those jobs, it's not enough. I think the jobs take as much time as you can mentally and physically to worry about them.
And then keep in mind too, working for somebody, you never get paid what you work. There's always going to be a ceiling that's going to prevent you from getting to that next level. So you only break that by working for yourself and creating your own.
my first job was in 1998 when I got out of college. Was for errands. I thought I was making pretty good money. I had a $50,000 base salary, and with bonuses and stuff like that, I was probably clocking about 80. Back then, that was great. So I was stable, but capped. All right, I was top of everything, but most I could make was 80. Most I could make was 80,000, which is good. I was driving around in back in '98, I had a Trans Am. First one to get that, you know what I mean? I had
the 5.0.
I had a '97 Cobra too. I used to
No
the first
BBS on that thing.
Yeah, man. I had a few different cars. I had one of the first ones to have an Expedition. Back in the day when so I had cars, man. All right, I'm living ghetto fabulous.
You had Eddie Bauer though.
Nah, I ain't no Eddie Bauer. Then after I got that, I had what else I had? I had a few different cars, man. I had a couple of different cars, but all right, I live ghetto fabulous. Now what? You know what I mean? It was, it wasn't nothing, man. Because you're gonna make it and spend it.
Yep, because it's coming. That check coming in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's like then we miss one thing. I speak for the people that's like me. One thing we misunderstood and we wasn't prepared for, that our dads left us, that child support. That child support ain't no joke.
I didn't have to worry about
that. Yeah, that child support was no joke, man.
So yeah,
I learned from my friends and relatives. So I
didn't know that it based how they do it is they add both incomes up, and you in charge of 65%. So the more you make, the more they was gonna take.
Yep, and that's why we got to not only teach about entrepreneurism and financial literacy, we need to teach the discipline.
Right, and that's another thing. I was taught that was the prize. All this was for that made the world go round. It wasn't about business. It was about how much can you knock down, and that comes with a price tag. So I'm buying gear, I'm buying jewelry, I'm buying. I'm talking about for me, not for them. You know what I'm saying? But you trying to look fly, you trying to impress. You got the PrimeCo phone. I don't know y'all remember the PrimeCo back in the day.
Yep.
That's classic.
That was before the unlimited minutes. So you stun, you got the PrimeCo phone. You got
25 cents a minute.
Like
25 cents a minute, $1 minute. You go refill that boy up. Yeah.
Call me back after 7. Call me back after 7.
Right. Now that was before that. That was before they started when they start getting the BlackBerry and stuff. They start, that's when they start making them concessions when they got Sprint and all that came out. I'm talking about I had the PrimeCo. Yeah, this was for Verizon. So but nah, man, it was but right before that PrimeCo era, where stop and find a payphone.
Yep.
What?
You know what I'm saying? The beeper era. That was before your time. I know for sure, Corey. That was that beeper era.
Oh no, that wasn't before my time.
No, that wasn't before my time.
Motorola.
That wasn't before my time.
That beeper era was. Oh, yeah.
I didn't even have the Sky pager at first. I had the local one. I couldn't even get the Sky pager.
Man, you had to stop and find a payphone, man.
There it is.
I mean,
start getting them codes. You give them a code. Hey, when you put the number in, give them a code.
It'll be me 911. I gotta go find a payphone.
I gotta find a payphone ASAP.
Right. That's crazy, but that was before that time, man. That was when I was in high school, man. The beeper joints. Really, when I first my first job, we had beepers too. We had pages. It was before the phones came out. Yep, we had pages. My first, all of us had pages. In fact, I remember starting to plan for the stove. We all, I got everybody pages. You know what I mean? So that at 98 pages still was a thing. That's crazy how technology has came around. But yeah, man, like I said, it's I've always flourished when I was on my own, man, when I could do whatever I want, when it's unleashed. When I was working these jobs, man, it's too constricted.
Yeah,
to me.
I mean, that's the whole thing. School does not promote creativity. Like they'll teach you how to be an employee.
Exactly. A good employee, that's about it. And then some of them don't, some degrees don't even teach you that. Some degrees are worthless for real.
Yep.
So I think we got bamboozled with the student loan debt. I think that's, you could go abroad and get education for free, Dubai and all that stuff like that. Video we played.
You don't even need that, especially like shoot, it's dudes in cybersecurity making $500,000 off certifications with no college degree.
Exactly.
So-
My cousin got that. You could go in the military and get your certifications and
Yep.
get paid while you're doing it. So we got to just try again. The same thing. If there's an underlying theme to this particular episode, is strategizing.
Yep.
Because my cousin did the same thing. He ain't got a lick of college in him.
Right.
My cousin, he just bought $1 million house in Atlanta. He went to the military, got paid. Now he getting 45. I can't put his business out there, but he getting nice little chunk every month, and he got them certifications in cybersecurity, making 6 figures plus.
Yep. Yep. That's what Pac said. Plan, plot, strategize, and bomb first.
Yeah, straight. They got more than one way of skin a cat, man. I think we lose and everybody try to fit in the same box with that college thing. It's cool. It's a nice experience. I like the experience, but I definitely lost on that. I ain't used nothing that I used. The only thing I learned from college is how to run a business. That's the only
So
thing I
then you
learned.
got value out of it.
That's it. I didn't learn nothing in class. This was on my own.
I'm about to say they ain't teach you that in computer science.
Nah, they ain't teach me nothing. This is what I learned. I had an Asian girlfriend. Her brother used to do all my science projects. Right? So I had this Spanish chick. She used to do all my literature stuff. She was smart. I had this other white chick. She'll do, she'll do my math joint. The calculus and all that. So I had them doing my different homework pieces. I organized all that. You know what I'm saying?
You was a CEO.
I was a CEO. I learned how to run the business. It was business, man. That's all. And then, like I said, we had a code amongst the football players. Like, and we didn't feel like going to class. Like, we had one or two of the rookies or the freshmen come in and sign all of us up. Or like we had one or two people in our class. Hey, sign up because back in the day they had a little notepad. You had to sign. I don't know if you remember that. Or probably before your time too.
You had to write your name down on the roll.
Write your name down, and then pass it around. Hey man, put all our names on there. You know what I'm saying? The professor started, man. Hold up, man. You like, all right? You start counting.
And they used to get hip to that, start calling a roll after a while. It's like,
Right, you got 12 people in there, 36 people signed. You know what I'm saying? So he started getting wise to that thing. But yeah, for the most part, man, we'll skip the classes. Classes was optional if you played football, man. Sometimes I went, sometimes I didn't. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, I don't even remember classes like that because I always used to sleep in. I remember some of them. It was cool. But all right, man, we're gonna see y'all next week, man. We get back with you.
All right.
Yep.
Later.
All right.